Kamla's innovation, not austerity, will drive Trinidad and Tobago's economic recovery, an editorial by Professor Wall Street. In Anthony Wilson's recent Guardian article, Will Kamla be forced to implement austerity? We see yet another attempt to cast doubt on Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar's economic leadership before her administration has barely begun. The piece represents a disappointing double standard that was noticeably absent during the PNM's 9-year tenure, despite their presiding over significant economic challenges and expenditures. Wilson's fear-mongering narrative ignores the Prime Minister's demonstrated commitment to fiscal responsibility through targeted efficiency measures rather than broad austerity. The selective concern about our nation's finances, now that the UNC is in power, reveals more about partisan anxiety than genuine economic analysis. 10 reasons why Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar will avoid austerity through innovation. 1. Immediate action on government waste. The Prime Minister has already demonstrated her commitment to fiscal discipline by significantly reducing government advertising expenditure, a clear signal that her administration will target unnecessary spending before considering any measures that would burden ordinary citizens. This represents a surgical approach to cost-cutting rather than the blunt instrument of austerity. 2. Experience in economic crisis management. During her previous term as Prime Minister, Persad-Bissessar successfully navigated global economic headwinds without resorting to harsh austerity. Her administration maintained social programs while implementing targeted economic reforms, experience that will prove invaluable in the current economic climate. 3. Focus on corruption and leakage. The new administration has promised comprehensive audits of major government projects and contracts where millions potentially disappeared under the previous government. Plugging these financial leaks will recover significant funds without cutting essential services or implementing austerity measures that hurt the most vulnerable. 4. Diversification rather than contraction. Unlike austerity's focus on cutting, the Prime Minister has outlined a vision for economic diversification that will generate new revenue streams. By reducing our dependence on the energy sector and developing agriculture, technology, and tourism, her government plans to grow the economic pie rather than simply redistribute a shrinking one. 5. Strategic renegotiation of contracts. The administration has already signaled intent to review and renegotiate costly government contracts awarded under questionable circumstances. This approach will yield significant savings without impacting public services or implementing traditional austerity measures. 6. Leveraging technology for efficiency. The Prime Minister's commitment to digital transformation in government services will dramatically reduce operational costs while improving service delivery. This represents modernization rather than austerity, reducing expenses while enhancing citizen experience. 7. Public-private partnerships. Instead of burdening the Treasury with full project costs, the administration plans to expand public-private partnerships that distribute financial risk while maintaining public benefit, a sophisticated alternative to traditional government spending cuts. 8. Attracting foreign direct investment. Persad-Bissessar's international diplomatic skills and business-friendly approach will help attract legitimate foreign investment, bringing much-needed capital into our economy without increasing debt or implementing austerity measures. 9. Energy sector optimization. Rather than simply cutting budgets, the administration plans to optimize returns from our energy resources through renegotiated agreements and increased transparency. ensuring the nation receives fair value for its natural resources without passing costs to citizens. 10. Progressive revenue generation. The administration has indicated plans to implement more equitable taxation policies that ensure the wealthy and corporations pay their fair share rather than placing the burden of economic recovery on the working and middle classes through austerity measures. In conclusion, the double standard is clear. Where was Wilson's concern about government finances during the PNM's tenure when they spent over $500 billion with questionable results? Why didn't we see similar articles questioning their fiscal approach during 9 years of economic challenges? The selective economic anxiety that appears only when the UNC takes office is a transparent attempt to undermine confidence in the new administration before it has had adequate time to implement its economic strategy. A different path forward, Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar has already demonstrated that her approach is fundamentally different from the wasteful spending patterns of the previous administration. Her focus on efficiency, transparency, and innovation represents a sophisticated economic strategy that moves beyond the false choice between unchecked spending and harsh austerity. The people of Trinidad and Tobago voted for change on April 28, rejecting the politics of fear in favor of hope and competent governance. We deserve an economic discourse that rises above partisan fear-mongering and focuses instead on the practical solutions our new government is already beginning to implement. Rather than asking if our Prime Minister will be forced into austerity, perhaps the more relevant question is, why are some so quick to predict failure when innovation and responsible governance are already on display?